2021 is here. And what does that mean? 2021 means a new you, a new year, new everything. Thank goodness 2020 is gone and done and we can be rid of that. But I want to ask you guys a serious question. Were you one of those that was waiting for vaccine, for COVID to be over with? Were you waiting for something, for anything, until you started living your life? Are you still waiting for things to get better for you to start living your life? I want to talk a little bit about this. I want to talk about being single in 2021. And I also want to talk about resolutions and making changes. And I want you guys to be very, very careful of not having the mentality, not having the mindset of waiting till tomorrow. That's kind of like saying, I'm going to wait till Monday to start my diet. I mean, guys, let's face it. Monday comes around and by the end of that day, we're back to that chocolate cake. Why? Because resolutions don't work. Whenever we say to ourselves, hey, let's wait until X in order to start Y, nope, that is a train wreck. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Whenever you wait to do something, chances of working go way down. So stop waiting. Stop being a victim of circumstances. Stop making excuses for why you didn't do this or why you can't do that. You are in charge. You are responsible for your own life, your own actions, and your own reactions. Because guys, let's face it, we cannot control our environment, but we can control how we respond to that. And that's what separates leaders from followers. So be a leader in your life. Take actions right now, not in an hour, not tomorrow, but right now to get the kind of life that you want in 2021. So right this second. So I'm going to talk to you guys about a couple of different ways you can get your love life down packed and thriving for when you finally meet that special lady. Let's talk a little bit, just briefly, about why resolutions don't really work. And the reason for that is because our egos love comfort. They love the familiar. They love old habits. And the reason for that is because we know what those are. Those have kept us safe. We're still breathing and surviving. So we know, keep doing this because you're alive. But guess what? If you want to grow, you're going to have to endure change and disruption. So your ego's gonna be freaking out. No, I don't like this diet. I don't like this change. I don't like talking to new people. But every time that you do that, every time you stretch yourself, you grow a little bit more. So if it feels uncomfortable, chances are you're growing. Okay, so remember that as we go through this list. So the first thing I want to ask you is your life ready to bring in that special someone right now? Are you equipped? And I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. Are you equipped? Are you ready to have the love of your life come knocking on your doorstep, come knocking on your door or doorstep right now? And if not, then guess what? Silver lining of COVID, now is your opportunity to get everything in check, to be ready for that love, for the many loves of your life to come walking in. Because one thing that I always tell my students, and I'm not sure if I've made this as clear as I possibly can, so I want to clarify. Water seeks its own level. And what I mean by that is if you pour a tub of water into a container, it will flatten out, it will level out, because water will always find its own level. Okay, so now that you understand that concept, what does that mean and what does it have to do with what I'm telling you? Well, wherever you are in life, okay, think of it as, let's give this the generic scale of 1 to 10. Wherever you are on that scale is what you're gonna be attracting. So if you wanna be attracting 9s and 10s, you have to be a 9 and 10. Here's the thing. I'm not talking about you having to be a physical 9 or 10, meaning looks-wise 9 or 10 in order to attract looks-wise 9 or 10. But your life has to be somewhere in the 9s and 10s. Maybe it's confidence, whether it's career, whether it's finance, whether it's intelligence, whether it's whatever other aspect is incredible. It has to match. It has to be in the level of what you're seeking to match, right? I mean, let's be real. You see men with lots of money, right, attracting, that are not 9s and 10s physically, that attract 9s and 10s women. Why is that? because they're nines and tens in a different area in their life. They're nines and tens financially, right? And they're attracting nines and tens physically. And if we're being honest again, yes, power and money is pretty attractive. It's pretty sexy. And that's nothing to be superficial about. It really comes down to our evolution, right? Women are attracted to men that can provide, that can show power, provide shelter, right? And so how does that trickle down to 2021? Well, that equals a man that can afford a nice lifestyle. Men are attracted to younger women with beauty and youth because, again, look back at evolution. If she looks young, she's got great skin, healthy hair, she's more likely to be fertile and give us healthy offspring. So whenever you see someone judging a man or a woman because they're with someone they're attracted to, their looks, age, or money, think back about this evolutionary concept. It's actually pretty normal. Okay, now getting rid of that rant, let's talk about the things you can do in 2021. So we talked about water seeking its own level. So if you're looking to attract someone in their nines and tens on the scale, are you at your nines and tens? And what do you need to do to get there? So think about that. Think about all areas of your life, financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, maybe it's education. Where do you need to be in order to attract the same? And if you're not, what do you need to do? And number two is, just because we are during a pandemic, we're in a pandemic, just because we are quarantining, some of us, depending on where you are in the country and in the world, doesn't mean it has to halt and stop everything around you. A lot of us can't go out to bars, a lot of us can't be social, but that doesn't mean that your social life has to stop. So if you've perhaps kind of lost or let fizzle out different elements of your social life, now is the perfect time to reignite it. So number two, reignite your social life. Reach out to people that make you feel good or that made you feel good. Maybe it's even been 5-10 years. Send them a message, pick up the phone, put the pawns in place in order to have a healthy social life once we are able to go out and be social. And you can also have a social life now, even if it's not face-to-face. My friends and I, we do a happy hour bi-weekly on Zoom. Do that with the guys. Have a little happy hour on first Thursdays of the month or whenever it's convenient to you. Play online chess with each other. Whatever you need to do to reignite those social connections that you used to have, even if it's been a few years, so that once COVID is finally dwindling down, we can go out. Your social life is up and running. That was number two. Number three, let's take a realistic look at how prepared are you in your life to introduce somebody new. So maybe you're divorced, maybe you have custody of kids, maybe you don't have a very healthy work-life balance right now. What do you need to readjust, to rearrange in order to have a healthier time management and healthier work-life balance in your life, to really have time to bring in somebody new? Maybe you need to have a conversation with your baby mama. Maybe you need to reassess your time at work. But you need to make sure that you can afford, time-wise, to let somebody new into your life. Number four is, because we're stuck inside, it doesn't mean we need to be boring. It doesn't mean that we're just stuck in front of our computers and TVs. Become well-rounded, become interesting. If you're going to go out on dates, if you're going to start conversing, if you're going to start having connections and relationships, you have to have something to talk about other than COVID, politics, and work, right? Become a well-rounded person. Increase your cultural intelligence. So start reading up on things that you perhaps didn't know much about before, or things that you were slightly interested in but never had the opportunity to get more acquainted with. Get reading on more books, get familiar with that Kindle, start listening to more podcasts, start watching some older movies, some that are controversial or some that, have been given a lot of awards or been great conversation starters. You want to become a well-rounded, culturally intelligent, interesting person that actually has an opinion. And that's another thing that we're going to do a video about later, is have an opinion and don't be afraid of it. If you disagree with something that she says, don't disagree just for the sake of disagreeing, but disagree because you genuinely believe something else, and do so in a amicable, constructive, friendly way where you're just exchanging ideas. So get an opinion and don't be afraid of it, and start getting more information. And it has to extend beyond politics. Nobody wants to talk about politics for 24 hours a day. So please. So that was number 4, and that was level up your cultural intelligence. Become more well-rounded, more well-read. Number 5, look good. If you look good, you feel good, and you also want to be a person that respects their body. You can't expect a girl to completely be all dolled up, have an amazing body, take care of herself, eat healthy, while you're being a couch potato that's slowly gaining the pounds. Yes, I know we've all gained the COVID-15, but now the light is at the end of the tunnel, and now again is our silver lining to get everything in place of where we want it to be. This is our time to set up our lives for where we want to be when we do introduce and when we do meet somebody new. So start looking good, start eating well. Now, if this is something that's completely new to you, do it slowly. Instead of completely changing your foods in one day, which you know has a very high likely chance of failing, then start changing one meal at a time. So if breakfasts used to be pancakes and bacon, just replace the breakfast into something a little bit heartier, something a little bit more wholesome, and do so slowly. And after you're comfortable with breakfast, then maybe in a couple of weeks, now you've changed what you eat for breakfast as well as lunch, and so on and so forth. The small little changes is what's most sustaining, but you have to start now, and you have to start slow. So start looking good. Start taking an extra walk. If you're walking to the grocery store, instead of parking really close by the door, take the last parking spot all the way at the back of the parking lot. Those extra steps make a difference. If you haven't invested in some kind of workout machine, I personally am a new user of the Peloton, the spinning bike, and I am in love. I really recommend it, but you got to do what's good for you, and something that you know is you're going to do in the long run, not something that you're going to start for a few months and drop it. Something that you love, something that you enjoy. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, we talked about cultural intelligence, we talked about time management, we've talked about looks and physical, but your physical environment, not just your physical body, is also really important. So here's what I like to say. Have a look at your surroundings, have a look at your settings, have a look at where you live. If the love of your life came knocking on your door right now, would you feel comfortable? Would you feel proud showing her where you live? So if you're a clutter bug, get that in check. Again, now is a silver lining, because now is your opportunity to prepare for the kind of life that you want, right? So get your house clutter free, get it clean. And beyond that, and we talk about this when I talk about the online dating, make your house a little bit sexy. Get some grand artwork, some big artwork pieces, get some modern furniture, get some beautiful lighting, get some artwork with up lighting showcasing it. Okay, so get your home in shape. And the last one I want to talk about is start connecting now. And when I say start connecting, I mean that in a multitude of ways. One is start connecting with women now. And that is, if you can't go and approach on the street or out there in the real world, then start connecting online. And you guys should know that I do have my online dating workshop, which I'm happy to talk to you if you DM me. But I'm more talking about start practicing connecting, conversating, start getting better at having rapport skills, get on those dating apps, start talking to your female friends, start getting better at having natural conversations. And banter goes a long way. So if that's something that you're missing out on, make sure that you're practicing that, right? And you can practice that through texting. You can also practice that by joining an improv group. A lot of the improv groups are now offering online improv groups. Also Toastmasters, join an online Toastmasters group. Start connecting, start getting really dialed into feeling her emotions and going back and forth. Okay, so that's kind of my number 8, which is start getting hobbies, become interesting, whether it's Toastmasters or improv, or maybe even joining an online cooking class or an online book club, an online wine appreciation, jazz appreciation, whatever it is. Take courses where it's perhaps on Zoom and you're interacting and meeting other people. Get hobbies, get an interesting life, because I'll tell you the secret right now. What really attracts women is a remarkable man that's on his mission, that has his own life, that's got his stuff going on. All of the things I just told you are gonna make you great for you. They're not gonna make you great for her. They're gonna make you great for you. And if you're great for you, she's gonna be attracted to that. Always put yourself as number 1. You were born here alone. The truth of it, you're gonna die alone. No one's gonna take care of you, and no one's gonna treat your body and your mental, your emotional, your physical space like you do. Put yourself first. Make yourself the best version that you can. We're talking about confidence. We're talking about love life. We're talking about financial. We're talking about every element to give you the best life that you can, but you gotta take action now. Now, if you don't know how to do any of these or even one of this, you need to book a call with us today. Again, don't wait till tomorrow. Book a call with us today. Book a free breakthrough call with us, either with me or my other fantastic, phenomenal, life-changing coaches. Let's see where you are on your path. Let's see where you need help. We can't do this alone. There is power in the collective. This is why we have experts. This is why we have guidance. This is why we have counselors. We can't know what we don't know, and we can't get ourselves if we don't know the path. Take opportunity of this last little patch of COVID and get yourself prepared to meet that special someone in your life. Stop settling, because how much longer do you want to stay stuck wishing for what you want, but instead you're just settling for what you have? Don't let another minute go by. Book a free coaching breakthrough session with us and let us see where you're at and how we can help. I'm looking forward to meeting you guys, looking forward to talking to you.